friends, members of the family, I want to thank you all warmly for coming to be with us, with Leah, Annie, Catherine, Francie, me, and especially our dear mother, Jeanette, this afternoon. Nos vifs remerciements à vous tous d'être avec nous cet après-midi. Mon nom est David, le fils de Léo. The relationship between father and son is special. I am seeing this now as a new father. My relationship with Dad has grown and evolved over the years, but a constant throughout was his support and love. I hope I will demonstrate the same qualities with my son, just as I've learned to share Dad's private passions for the music of Bach and a good juicy apple, preferably at the same time. At this time, and especially since Leo's death was so completely unexpected, we find we are left with things unsaid, thoughts and feelings we didn't have the opportunity to express to him. Let us say some of these here. Professeur Bernard Brody, un grand ami et collègue de mon père, Léo, vous en parlera de l'homme et son travail. Afterwards, my older sister, Catherine, will speak of what Dad meant to us in the family. Bernard?
I would first like to address you in English and then in French. Je voudrais finir mes paroles premièrement en anglais et ensuite permettez-moi de vous en rendre en français. I don't know if I can go through the whole thing because it's too emotional. We have come together this afternoon to share our grief and our influence, to render our respects to a man we admire, to a man we love. Some of you I know have traveled many miles to be here today. There are many blood relatives of Leo in the halls, his organic family. But we are all members of the enlarged Leo Roback family. We were marked by Leo. To have met and known him was to become part of the extended family. From humble beginnings of immigrant parents, Leo Roback rose to a position where he was able to influence not only an entire generation of students, but also his peers and the society in which he lived. Leo, through his unusual intelligence, through his rare and forceful sense of social justice, has left his mark on our society. Leo Roback, our friend, our colleague, was above all concerned with improving the lives of those who, in the hierarchy of the power structure, were left behind. His continuous and many-faceted presence on the industrial relations scene was aimed at restoring some balance between those who have not and those who have. But Leo Roback was a man of many dimensions. When the Second World War broke out, Leo interrupted his university studies and devoted his energies as a navigator in the Canadian Air Force against the abominable terrorism of Nazism. Upon his return to civilian life, Leo took up the cause of providing research for the labor movement in Quebec, both with the textile workers and as an independent consultant. This in an era when such services were unavailable here to working man organizations. Leo provided research to both the CNTU and the Quebec Federation of Labor. No mean feat, since these were rival organizations. Leo Roback was a paradox, a remarkable paradox. In his manner and personal comportment, Leo was kind, tender, tolerant, respectful. He could understand and live with the views of others. I never heard Leo raise his voice. Never, not once. On the other hand, he brought the full force of his intellect, of his conscience, down on violators and violations of social justice, of man's exploitation by man. When Leo retired 3 years ago, he sold his extensive collection of books and reports on sociology, history, and industrial relations. What did he do with the profits of the sale? Every last cent he gave to Amnesty International. Leo was a man of conscience. In his professional life, Leo Roback was respected for his abilities to help overcome social conflict. His views and his judgments were continuously sought by those caught up in difficult situations, in crises. He was consulted by government ministers, by judges, by leaders of the labor movement at all levels. Leo presided over manpower adjustment committees, over arbitration tribunals. I recall one chairman of our department who attempted to prod Leo into becoming more active as a neutral arbitrator. For Leo, this was hardly possible. He confided in me that he would never be able to confirm a discharge. Leo would not be party to the dismissal of a worker because he knew the hardships, social, economic, family hardships, which is the lot of the unemployed. That is our man of social conscience. When the Stiporex Corporation closed its plant here, Leo was appointed chairman of the committee to help find jobs for the newly unemployed. He directed all his time and energy at that major goal, but he did more. Leo went further. He set up a questionnaire to find out from those who were fortunate enough to gain employment what their degree of satisfaction was with their new job. No one had ever done that before. That was Leo Roback, his concern for the lives of the dispossessed in our society. Leo's stature among those in the industrial relations community was recognized by his election as president of both the Canadian Industrial Relations Association and the Industrial Relations Research Association of Montreal. He was also chosen to sit on the University of Montreal Senate, l'Assemblée universitaire, as well as on its powerful Comité du Statut du Corps Professoral. True to his own strict standards of justice, Leo later selected to resign from that august assembly when it refused to intervene on behalf of a colleague who was being dismissed for criticizing university policy, for freedom of speech. Leo could not be a party to injustice. Leo Roback was a loyal man. Those of us in this hall who at some point in their lives needed support and received it from Leo know what I mean. He neglected his own advancement and his own interests to save others. Leo Roback has produced a whole generation of students, both day and adult evening students, who have gone out into the world of work with a special perspective that only Leo could impart. They too are active members of the extended Leo Roback family. I could go on for hours relating the contributions that Leo Roback made to many lives in this world, to people who are not even aware that Leo was at the origin of some improvement in their situation. But I'll end here. Albert Einstein classified men into two groups, men of success and men of value. Men of success take more out of society than they put into it. Men of value put more into society than they take out. Leo was a man of value. Finally, in assessing Leo's place in Quebec society, we cannot forget Jeanette. Dear Jeanette, who shared with him the highs and the lows of an unconventional life. How often we would see Leo and Jeanette walking hand in hand like honeymooners, even in the latest years. Truly an inspiration to us all. To Leo Roback, a cultivated man, a social scientist, a thinker, a writer, and a practitioner, we do not say goodbye because he is and will remain present in our thoughts and our actions for a long time to come. Si vous voulez, j'essaierai de vous dire quelques mots en français. Nous nous réunissons cet après-midi afin de témoigner notre peine et de constater le vide, de rendre nos hommages à un homme que nous admirons, à un homme que nous aimons. Je sais qu'il y en a parmi vous qui ont fait des longs voyages pour vous rendre ici aujourd'hui. Il y a dans la salle de la famille de Leo liée par le sang. C'est sa famille organique. Mais nous sommes tous de la famille de Leo Roback, de la famille élargie. D'avoir rencontré Leo, de l'avoir reconnu, impliquait nécessairement l'appartenance à la famille élargie. De ses origines, humbles origines, d'une famille d'immigrés, Leo Roback a réussi à se rendre à une position où il était capable d'influencer non seulement une génération entière d'étudiants, mais aussi ses pairs et la société même dans laquelle il a vécu. Leo, par son intelligence immense, par son sens de justice sociale rare et puissant, a laissé sa marque sur notre société. Leo Roback, un ami et collègue, était avant tout préoccupé à l'amélioration des vies de ceux dans l'hiérarchie de la structure de pouvoir et était laissé pour compte. Sa présence continue sur la scène de relations industrielles visait la restauration d'un certain équilibre de pouvoir entre ceux qui avaient et ceux qui n'en avaient pas. Mais Léo était un homme de plusieurs dimensions. Lorsque la Deuxième Guerre mondiale a éclaté, Léo a interrompu ses études universitaires et a dévoué ses énergies à titre de navigateur dans l'aviation canadienne contre les abominations du nazisme. Dès son retour à la vie civile, Léo a épousé la cause d'offrir de la recherche au mouvement ouvrier au Québec, avec le syndicat des textiles et aussi à titre de consultant indépendant. Cela à une ère où ses services n'étaient presque pas disponibles à des organisations de travailleurs. Léo a su transiger à la fois avec la CSN et la FPQ. Un événement assez rare puisqu'on connaît la rivalité entre les organisations. Léo Roback était un paradoxe remarquable. Dans sa manière et dans son comportement personnel, Léo était doux, tendre, tolérant, respectueux. Il pouvait comprendre et vivre avec les opinions des autres. Je ne l'ai jamais entendu lever la voix, pas une seule fois. Par ailleurs, il amenait la pleine force de son intelligence, de sa conscience, contre des violations et des violateurs, de la justice sociale, de l'exploitation de l'homme par l'homme. Quand Leo a pris sa retraite il y a 3 ans, il a vendu sa collection imposante de livres et de rapports en sociaux, en histoire et en relations culturelles. Qu'est-ce qu'il a fait avec les profits de la vente? Il a tout donné, jusqu'à la dernière scène, à l'Amnesty International. Leo était un homme de conscience. Dans sa vie professionnelle, Leo Roback était respecté pour ses compétences dans les efforts à résoudre le conflit social. Ses opinions et ses jugements étaient continuellement recherchés par ceux impliqués dans des situations difficiles, dans les crises. Il était consulté par des ministres gouvernementaux, par des juges, par des chefs du mouvement syndical à tous les niveaux. Léo a présidé des comités de reclassement de la main-d'œuvre. Il a présidé des tribunaux d'arbitrage. Je me rappelle un directeur du département qui a essayé d'inciter Léo à se lancer plus à titre d'arbitre neutre. Pour Léo, cette situation était difficilement possible. Il m'avait dit qu'il ne pourrait jamais intérimer un congédiement. Léo ne pourrait pas partager la décision de mettre dehors le travailleur parce qu'il connaissait les difficultés sociales, économiques et familiales, ces difficultés qui sont inhérentes à l'état de chômage. C'est ça notre homme de conscience sociale. Quand la compagnie Typolex a fermé son usine ici, Léo était nommé président du comité de reclassement afin d'essayer de trouver des emplois pour les chômeurs. Il a dirigé son temps et son énergie à ce but principal, mais il a fait plus. Léo est allé plus loin. Il a construit un questionnaire afin de connaître de ceux qui étaient assez chanceux de se retrouver un emploi, quel était le degré de satisfaction, quelle était la nature de ce deuxième emploi. Jamais auparavant, un tel instrument a été conçu dans le cadre d'un comité de reclassement. Ça, c'est Léo Roback. Sa préoccupation avec la vie des dépossédés de notre société. La stature de Léo parmi ceux de la communauté de relations industrielles a été reconnue par sa nomination à titre de président à la fois de l'Association canadienne de relations industrielles et par l'Industrial Relations Research Association de Montréal. Il a été aussi choisi de siéger à l'Assemblée universitaire de l'Université de Montréal et à ce tout-puissant comité de statut du corps professoral. Fidèle à ses normes strictes de justice, Léo, ultérieurement, a choisi de démissionner de cette auguste assemblée quand l'Assemblée universitaire a refusé d'intervenir au nom d'un collègue qui était en train de se faire congédier pour avoir critiqué la politique de l'université. Léo Roback ne pouvait pas être complice d'une injustice. Léo Roback était un homme loyal. Ceux parmi nous dans cette salle qui, à un point ou autre de nos vies, avaient besoin d'appui et l'ont reçu de Léo, savent ce que je veux dire. Il a négligé son propre avancement et ses propres intérêts afin de servir les autres. Léo Roback a produit une génération d'étudiants, à la fois des étudiants de jour, les jeunes, et les adultes du soir, qui œuvrent maintenant dans le monde du travail avec une perspective spéciale, avec une perspective unique que seulement Léo pouvait inculquer. eux aussi font partie de la famille Léo Roback élargie. Je pourrais continuer pendant longtemps à relater les contributions que Léo a faites à beaucoup de vies dans ce monde, à des gens qui ignorent même les avantages qui découlent des actions de Léo. Mais j'arrêterai là. Albert Einstein a classifié les hommes en deux groupes, les hommes de succès et les hommes de valeur. L'homme de succès retire de la société plus qu'il en donne. L'homme de valeur donne plus à la société qu'il en retire. Léo était un homme de valeur. Finalement, en terminant, la description de la place de Léo Roback dans la société québécoise nous impose de se tourner vers son épouse Jeannette. Chère Jeannette, qui a partagé avec Léo les joies et les peines d'une vie non conventionnelle. Combien de fois qu'on a vu Léo et Jeannette marchant, main dans la main, comme des nouveaux mariés, même dans les dernières années. Véritablement une inspiration à nous tous. Donc, à Léo Roback, un homme cultivé, un spécialiste en sciences sociales, un penseur, un écrivain, un praticien, nous ne disons pas adieu à Léo, parce qu'il est et il restera dans nos pensées et dans nos actions pour longtemps à venir.
We meet today to celebrate the life of our father, Leo, his contribution to all of our lives. It is only what he's done so many times for others, recognizing the qualities and the work of his family and friends in a speech, in a text, in a joke. Our father, Leo, was a man who had many gifts and talents. He would never spare them when he could be of help. He was above all a family man who thought of his children and his grandchildren, of all children, as his faith and hope in the future. His brothers and sisters and their families were all very special to him. He was a quiet man, a man of peace, who, because he had this quality within himself, could give to others. He was single-minded in what he thought was right. His life work was dedicated to the betterment of people. He loved a joke, but not when it was at the expense of any person's dignity or worth. These have been the thoughts of our mother, Jeanette. Dad's commitment to build social responsibility was practiced not only in the public arena, but within our family. His marriage with our mother created a powerful unity of two rich traditions. It enriched us and gave us an appreciation for diversity. As a father and family man, he was totally devoted. We now appreciate the team effort required to raise both socially and personally responsible human beings. Love and respect don't always go together. In our family, though, these feelings were never in question. We knew his love through his tender caring. We knew his respect as he empowered us to make informed choices. He accepted and respected our decisions. He trusted our judgment. Dad's devotion to us involved a commitment to improve our education. This meant extensive work with other parents in our schools. He set a model to us and to our contemporaries of long-time, selfless labor. A community of several generations, our friends all across the country, have been touched, marked by him. He reached out to know young people. He had a deep concern for people. He had knowledge and wisdom to offer as guidance, but never as interference. People turned to him for his wise counsel, and his thirst for learning stayed keen. By 1962, at midlife, he had the courage to become a retread at a time when a drastic career change was not common. He showed staying power, faith in himself, and the guts to take the risk. Dad's family of origin looked to him for his ready ear and his counsel. In crisis, he was a source of strength. His pride and concern has strengthened us all. The people he loved had his lifelong, unconditional loyalty. He was less tolerant of those who failed to meet his standards. A man of integrity, he held steadfast to his values. As his friend Giff in Halifax has said, he fought the good fight with a humor and wisdom. Dad was a funny man, convivial man. He enjoyed telling stories on himself. He showed top form in good company, where storytelling and jokes animated the gathering. He had simple pleasures. Evenings, he took his place in the living room, watching a baseball game, listening to Bach, and eating fruit. For Dad, music was his great pleasure, his relaxation, his comfort. He loved vocal music, but he lacked the chance to train himself. So he rejoiced in my brother David's recent Corinth performance. Suddenness of our loss leaves us all totally bewildered and unprepared. There's been no chance to exchange final messages. Each of us has many things to say and to show him. Even so, we know that he was assured of our deep love and respect for him. We wanted to convey to you what Dad has meant to us. I thank you again for coming and for honoring him.